everyone, welcome to my very first Flosstube video. My name is Jessica and this channel is called The Stitching Writer because I am a writer who loves to stitch. So I write historical fiction and I am currently enrolled in the Author Conservatory, which is a college alternative writing and business program. I am an avid reader, I am a Christian, and I am a stitcher. I haven't been stitching for very long, so I don't have a lot of projects under my belt, but I didn't want to let that stop me from joining this community and taking part in all the fun you guys have on here. So I decided to just take the leap and start this channel. So for today's video, I thought we could just chat through my cross-stitch projects, what I've finished so far, what I'm currently working on, and stitching plans. So let's get right into that. The very first cross-stitch project that I finished was from a kit that some friends of ours gifted me. They knew I loved stitching, thought it would be something that I'd enjoy. Because I've been sewing and doing crafty things for years, so obviously it was something I did enjoy because here we are. So the kit was Create Your Own Cross-Stitch, and it's published by Hinkler Books. Basically this is just the tutorial booklet, so it has all these patterns are included separately, so that's just the instructions. So there are some stitching instructions in the very front, which made it great because this was absolute first cross-stitch project. I had no idea what I was doing. Stitching basics, and then the few patterns, and all the threads were included in the kit. Not the best threads, but they did the job. They did the job. They got me hooked on this hobby. So the pattern that I chose was called, or is called, Wing Knit by, I think her name is, I've got my notes off here, so I'll be looking at those every now and then. Ann Mills. Ann Mills is the designer. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it so much. I'm very, very proud of how this turned out. Somehow I messed up on my stitch count. Well, not somehow, that's no surprise, honestly. And one of the butterflies was slightly off. I did all of the leaves first, leaves and flowers, and then the butterflies. And my stitch count was off, so I had to do some improvising. But I did so well, I don't know which butterfly is the one that is off. No matter how you turn it, you don't really. So, really, really proud of how this one came out. And that's what got me started. What got my love for this going. So it's on 14 count Aida. I'm not sure what the brand of the thread is. It's just what came with the kit, so I'm assuming it's their brand that they give out. So gorgeous. Still very in love with this project. Very proud of it. I think it was a great first project and very, very happy with it. After I finished that project, I knew I wanted to keep cross-stitching, so I kept my eye out for any other cross-stitch kits that I could find. And I found one that I really loved. But it was a full coverage. And jumping from that simple butterflies to a full coverage was maybe not the best decision. So the kit is Beacon at Daybreak. It's designed by Andreas Orphanus. I don't know if I'm saying that right. But it is this gorgeous, gorgeous, it's a bit of a glare. You can kind of see my bookshelf. Gorgeous, gorgeous, so beautiful. I'm so in love with this pattern. It's from the Gold collection. I love their patterns. They're all so beautiful. Their kits are so well put together. I think it's with Sagart Aida. So stitched in 18 count DMC threads. It's all included in the kit. They're a mess. They're a mess, but that's besides the point. So let me show you the progress that I made on that. So that's what I finished. It's maybe a quarter of the way in, maybe just under a quarter. Yeah, there is still a lot left. I would say kind of what is left is the most complicated parts. All of that, like flowers, which is going to be a lot of switching colors. So that's what's left. So that's what I tried doing as my second project. It took me probably a year to get to this point, not working on it consistently at all. And then I just abandoned it. Not purposefully. I definitely want to go back to this because it's beautiful. I love it. But it was not a good second project. So I set this one aside, kept my eye out for other kits that I could try, and I found the perfect kit for a proper second project finish. So the kit that I found was from our local craft store. I don't know if the kit is still available, but it's from the brand Stitch and Make. I'll see what I can link in the description box. I'm not sure how many of the patterns would be available outside of New Zealand because I'm in New Zealand. So I'm not sure how many of the patterns will be available outside of New Zealand, but I'll see what I can link. So the pattern is for this gorgeous bunny. It looked like something out of a Beatrix Potter story, and I immediately fell in love with it. I saw it in the little mailed magazine that we got once a month, and I immediately fell in love. I was like, I have to buy this. So I went to the craft store, found it immediately, like, you're coming home with me. So I stitched it over Easter weekend, stitched it all up in a weekend. It was DMC thread, 14 count Aida, really quick stitch, a joy to stitch, really a joy to stitch. And I've just framed it in a wooden hoop. I'll show you the back. Just glued it. Not how I would frame things now. I would like to do a better framing job, but it's gorgeous from the front. It is gorgeous from the front. I'm very proud of this one. It was so much fun to stitch, and after, I want to say the failure of the lighthouse, but it wasn't a failure. I just got a bit stuck and overwhelmed. This was so much fun to stitch after that complicated try. This was so much fun to stitch. This was my second finish. I am so proud of it. It is beautiful. I have it hanging on my wall where I can see it every day. Love it. My third finish is this little rose that I made into a pillow. So I specifically chose the threads to match the flowers on the back fabric. I have a lot of things I want to say about this. First off, it was supposed to be a needle book. It did not work out. I was not happy with how that looked, so I ripped it apart and turned it into a pillow instead. 14 count Aida DMC threads that I got from my mom. So my mom was a cross stitcher in the late 90s and early 2000s. So basically all of the thread I have is from her. I'm so honored to have them. I'm so honored to use them. There are a lot of gorgeous colors, a lot of pinks, which is perfect for this gorgeous rose. But yeah, most of the threads are pretty old, and that got me into a bit of a pickle later on, which I will show you or talk about it a little later. But yeah, so I picked the threads to match the back, 14 count Aida, DMC. Very happy with how it came out. Very quick stitch. I found the design on Pinterest, so I'm not sure who the designer is. Yeah, very pleased with this one. I realize now I should give a little bit of a stitching timeline for your reference. I finished the butterfly project, winging it, in 2021, 2022. I started it in 2021, did I think 2 or 3 leaves, and then finished the bulk of it in 2022. Then I started the lighthouse project a little later in 2022, and that basically, I worked on it on and off through 2022 into 2023. then abandoned it. And I did the bunny in 2024, Easter weekend 2024. And then the rose cushion I did December of 2024. So that brings us to this year, 2025. And my most recent finish. So really not a lot of projects, like I said, but I am proud of the ones that I've made so far. So this one I started in late December of last year, and I finished it in the first few weeks of January. It is a bookmark of a New Zealand landmark. So this is, the pattern is called, that is the wrong one. Where is it? The pattern is called Stone Store and Kemp House by Lynn Manning, is the pattern designer. And it's part of a heritage collection, New Zealand heritage collection. So they have quite a few of these. I have another one that I'm going to show you that I'm currently working on. Gorgeous ones. I plan on doing all of them eventually. So you guys will probably get to see that in future videos. Yeah, so this is the Stone Store and the Kemp House. That's the Stone Store, that's the Kemp House, and that's the church. So the Stone Store was built in the 1830s, and so was the Kemp House and the church. And the Stone Store is still operating today. Obviously, it is not a trading store like it was in the very beginning. It's more like a touristy store now. And I actually bought this kit from the Stone Store, so that was really fun. So gorgeous. I love this bookmark. It is so beautiful. I'm so happy to have it in my home. I don't have a display place for it just yet. I don't know if I'm actually going to be using it as a bookmark, if I'm just going to put it on display. It is beautiful. So it is stitched on Zygarde. The edges are already done for you, so it came in like the strip, and I just frayed the top and the bottom. DMC threads, 14 count Ada. I don't know if I said that, but it came together pretty quickly, and I'm very much in love with it. My next one is also part of the Heritage Collection, and it's called Over Post Office, designed by Madeline Findley. So there is the pattern. And this was the first, well, not the first post office, but this post office is still running today. It was built in the 1880s, and it's still running today. So that is pretty cool. Here's my progress on it. I'm about halfway, so I'm just like I just finished that big sign. So I have all of that still left. So I've still got a good bit to go, and then obviously a lot of back stitching. But I've made good progress on it, and I'm pretty proud of it. So once again, it is 14 count Ada, Zygarde Ada, I think. Yes, Zygarde Ada. 14 count DMC threads. So beautiful. I'm probably going to finish this in the next few weeks. So on our next episode, video, I don't know what to call these, you will probably get to see it finished. So yeah, that's basically caught us up to now. I have one more work in progress to show you, and then we'll talk about some stitching plans. So my next project is designed by Pinker and Punkin, and it is one of her saltbox houses. Now, if you have not seen her saltbox houses, what have you been doing with your life? She has a huge collection. They're all for free on her website. I'll link it below. So beautiful. So hard to choose which ones to stitch because they're all gorgeous. But I decided on Elizabeth Hartline's saltbox. And this is my progress on it. So I'll insert a picture of what it looks like over here. Well, the finished product looks like over there. This is my progress on it. And I still have a bit of a thread there. And here is where having my mom's 20-plus-year-old thread was interesting. I'd already stitched almost all of the front. I had, I think, one column left, one little column left. And then I ran out of the color I was using. So we went to the craft store, tried to find a thread, and I'm pretty sure I found the color that it was. Because, see, the thing is, I did thread organizing a couple years ago, and I took a lot of them, like half-used skeins, I took the label off. Don't know why I did that, but now almost none of the skeins have labels anymore, so I don't know what colorways they are. We're working through it. But, so I don't know what colorway it was, but I'm pretty sure I found what it would have been. But the color was not the same at all. Which is no surprise. I mean, it's been 20 years. But I couldn't find a match. So I had to rip that all up. I stitched all of this morning, actually. Back to where I was before I had to rip it all out. Yeah, just the front of the house so far. And there's my little stitch marker. My needle. I love the stitch marker so much. It's a little frog. It's focusing. I don't know if that's focusing. I don't know. It's a little frog in a little jar. I love it. It's so beautiful. I bought it at our local craft store. It's only a few bucks, so I had to get it. Yeah, I'm very much in love with this. So this is 14 count Aida, hand dyed by me, tea and coffee dyed by me, and I have enough fabric for 3 more salt boxes. It's gonna be a tough decision to make, but we'll finish this one, and then I definitely want to do another salt box because they're beautiful. Probably on our next video I'll have finished this one, and we can talk about which one I'll be doing next. Yes. It's progress I've made in that one so far. So that is my last whip. Let's talk through some stitching plans. Obviously, I want to finish the salt box house, and I want to finish the Ophir post office. They'll probably both be finished by the time I make my next video. At some stage, I do want to pick up the Lighthouse Beacon at Daybreak. I do want to pick up this one again. It'll probably be a future project, not something I'm working on this month. I want to build up just a little more courage, like you can do this, and then I will pick this one up again. Definitely picking up, maybe not this month though. And then I bought another kit. Just today I bought another kit. It's called Kiwi Town. Another one by Lynn Manning. So the Stone Store was by Lynn Manning, and then Kiwi Town is by Lynn Manning. So this is of a corner dairy. You'll see these quite often in New Zealand. They're not always on the corner, but it is just basically a small shop that sells practically everything. Sweets, ice cream, bread, milk. If you need something, the store will probably have it. This one has the most gorgeous vintage blue, Zegart vintage blue Aida. I can show it back. So gorgeous. I'm so excited to work with this Aida. I'll definitely be starting this one soon. I'm really excited to work on this one. Very much in love with it. So excited to work on this one. So this one is definitely a project that I'll probably have started by the time I film my next video. And then another one that I plan on starting really soon. I'm going to be buying the threads for it today because the store I'm buying it from has a sale, so I want to buy that all today. But I bought the pattern a few weeks ago, so it's called The Seamstress, and it's by Paula Baghand. So it is a vintage pattern from the 1980s. I got it on Etsy You might be able to find more on Etsy. I don't think they're selling the pattern anywhere else other than the Odd Person on Etsy. But the reason I bought this pattern is my current writing project is about a seamstress. It's going to be set in New Zealand in the 1890s. And I really wanted a project that I could work on alongside, like a stitching project I could work on alongside a writing project. And I saw this pattern on Etsy and I immediately fell in love. I knew it was the pattern I needed to stitch alongside this project. I'm aware that it's going to be a bit complicated. It is a vintage pattern, which makes it a bit different and slightly more complicated from modern patterns already. Not only that, I'll be stitching it on, I'm pretty sure it's 20 count Aida. I found it in a thrift store. It's a pretty big piece. I'm really glad for it. But the stitch, it's pretty small. It's either 20 count or 18 count. Pretty big piece. I still need to wash it. I need to rip out that little bit of stitches from the previous owner. There's a lot of fabric here. I'm going to be able to stitch more than one project with it, which is going to be very nice. But we're stitching it on this. So it's obviously smaller than 14 count, which most of my projects have been with. Only the house project has been with 18 count. And I managed. Potentially this could be 18 count, but I feel like it's just slightly smaller. I think it's 20 count. I'll be stitching it on that. It has, I think, 37 or 38 color threads. So that is a lot as well. But I'm going to try my best. It is not full coverage, not full coverage. There are some bits that are not stitched. But it's pretty close to being a full coverage piece. So I'm aware that it's going to be complicated. But I'm going to try my best. I'm going to finish the projects that I have going right now. But then just have a slow start on the seamstress as soon as my threads have arrived. So I'm really excited for that one. Yeah, I think that is everything. That is everything. Yeah, I am really excited to stitch these projects, to finish up these, and to start my new ones. I'm really excited to be here. I'm excited that you're watching this. I feel so honored. Thank you for being here. I'm so excited to connect with you guys and meet you all. If you have a Flosstube channel, drop it down below. I'd love to connect. Before I finish this off, I do want to say thank you to a few channels. First off, Joan Bishop at The Story Stitcher. Actually have the honor of her being one of my writing instructors at the Author Conservatory, which is amazing. But it's been so much fun watching her Flosstube episodes and just getting so inspired by her in my cross-stitching journey. So thank you so much, Joanne. Then there's Abby from Pansy Stitches. Abby seems so sweet. I love watching her videos. Love her. Barbara from Stitching and Tea with B. I love the little tea segments she has in her episodes. And her stitches are so beautiful. And then Caterpillar Cross Stitch. They are great for tutorials and just getting to know the ropes with cross stitching. So thank you so much to you guys. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for being the channels you are. Love watching you guys, and I'll link them all in the description box if you haven't heard of them. Highly likely that you haven't heard of them. They've been around for a bit. But thank you so much, you guys. Thank you again for watching. Let me know what you're working on. If there are any of these projects that you've stitched before or would like to stitch, I'll see what I can link, like I've said. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Love you.